Hi everyone and welcome to Gloucester Golf Centre, myself Joe Lovery. So I'm in the AT Performance Studio today in the downstairs one, so I'm going to be using Flight Scope for this test and it's going to be an epic driver battle. What we're going to have is we've got the M2 2017 model, we've then got M3 440, M3 460, M4, Rogue and then Rogue Sub-Zero as well. So all of them are in, I believe, in 9 degrees or 9.5. And I'm really looking forward to seeing which one offers the best dispersion, which one goes the furthest, which one generates the most ball speed. I know Rogue's got some massive claims at the moment, so their ball speed is as quick as they can effectively get from a driver. It's supposed to even be up from the Epic, so it's like an Epic 2.0. Let's see whether Taylormade, can they beat Callaway? And can they beat last year's M2, which in my mind is one of the best drivers they've ever made. So I'm going to hit loads of drives today, and we'll get some data at the end and have a little talk through. So first off then, I better set some data with my M2. So I've got a Tensai X in here. Be really intrigued to see what this kind of does, I think, compared to the others, because this thing I've absolutely loved for the sort of last, I've probably had this now about 8 months or so, and I've absolutely loved it. I've just found it's outperformed. I had an SLDR before that and it's outperformed it. So let's hit a few drives with this one. See if we can set some good data to begin with. Next up then, I have the brand new M3 440. Looks a lot more like a 3 with than perhaps many drivers. I don't know if you guys ever saw the SLDR. I think it was a 430 in that. This actually looks smaller, which is very surprising. Let's have a go. Okay, so the M3 460 then, certainly a nice looking head. I actually quite like the silver. Makes the face not quite look as deep as last year's M2. Certainly still like the carbon crown, think it looks really smart. I've just left the sort of marks on the weights on the bottom. I've left them in the standard position, exactly the same as what they were in the 440. The reason is I don't want to have it too dialed into myself at the moment. I just want to get literally some raw data as they come straight off the shelf. What do they do? But certainly for me, I think it would take me a little while, at least 20-30 minutes to get to the hang of what's going on, especially with a bit there at the back with the Ys. So really interested to sort of see how this one performs. So I'll give it a few hits and see what it's like. So the M4 then, probably the replacement as such for the M2 that I currently own. So if any of these drivers are tempting me into buying them, this is probably up there on my to buy list. So really interested to see actually, have we got any more distance out of the M4? Or is it just the same as the M2 with this twist-based technology? Be intrigued to see, it's exactly the same shaft. Let's get some data. Joys of twist base. I mean, what an awesome looking golf club. So gonna hit a few shots with the Rogue. Again, all set to completely standard, 9 degrees. See how it gets on. now, last but not least, we've got the Rogue Sub-Zero. So really excited actually to see if this thing can come out on top of everything else that's in the bit. Obviously, very much priced the same as what the M3 is going to be. Up there, that sort of £399 sort of pound area, somewhere around there. So intrigued to see, does that extra money mean extra distance? Let's give it a go. So that was hard work, but certainly good fun. And do you know what? I love doing things like this, just getting all the new products and going, right, which one goes the furthest? Which one has the best dispersion? What's the best? You know, these drivers now, they're getting more and more expensive. So if they're getting more expensive, you want to see improvements with that club. Now looking at the actual data, I cannot quite believe what I'm seeing. So my M2, genuinely has been a massive improvement for me out on the golf course. I've just been driving the ball so well since I got that M2 and so much further than what I have been in the past. Hit more fairways and I'm further up and I'm so much more confident to carry it out. And I'm so surprised to see it so far down that list. I hate to sound skeptical, I truly thought that this year's products weren't going to add anything extra to what my M2 does, but the results kind of speak for themselves. So M3 440 at the bottom, it's not really a surprise to me that. It's done exactly what it's supposed to. It's dropped the spin rate a bit. The launch is fairly low, so definitely I'd have to consider lofting up, certainly by the looks of it in the new range. But I found that personally quite a difficult club to hit, and I think that if you're really confident with the driver, if it's something you love to pull out and you tend to strike it really well, then give the M3 440 a go. If you want to drop your spin rate quite significantly, that then is going to be the driver they're going to be putting you in. That's what that driver's designed to do. In fairness, I think if you catch that thing well, I have absolutely no reason why that isn't going to shoot up the leaderboard with all the others up towards the top. So that's understandable. Now, I'm overly surprised my M2 there has come in second from last, 282 out to 291, and I truly caught those drives with that. Hit that really well. Now, what's slightly surprising about the next one is the difference in the club head speed going up into the Rogue. So the Rogue now, this new sort of aerodynamic design, the club head speed's gone up to 110. So 110.3, and we can see the Sub-Zero is exactly the same thing. So the club head speed for me was much higher with the Rogue, which is really interesting, quite an interesting thing to see. So carry then coming out at 285, overall distance coming at 295. Smash was only at 1.47 with the Rogue, so wasn't quite making use of all the club head speed and relating it into ball speed. We see ball speed though at 162.6, which amazingly is nearly as high as the M4 that's come out on top. Spin rate as well, really low, so very low spinning driver. It's one of the things that I didn't mention that much in the review, but actually is a really low spinning driver, and you know, completely different feel to the Taylormade. If you don't like the sort of loud noise the Taylormades make, and I have to admit they feel a little bit quieter this year compared to the M2, then maybe the Rogue is a different way of going for you, and also feels softer off the face, but still feels very explosive at the same time. So going up to then M3 460, coming in at 288 out to 297. So I'm really surprised actually I managed to hit that club as well as what I did. Really didn't get on well with the M1 from last year's range. Really just couldn't hit it, couldn't make the most out of the driver. I know many people that have got it and absolutely love it. I personally just could not get the thing going. I constantly hit big snap hooks with it. So was really surprised actually of how well it went and actually how good it looks, and I really like the new design at the bottom. It'll be intriguing actually in a following review to go, right, well if I change the settings, actually how much movement do I get around with that? So M3 460, very impressive driver. You'll see brand new there from Taylormade. So now we come up into the Sub-Zero. So the Sub-Zero, this was set to Sub-Zero settings, so the heaviest weight was furthest forward. Amazed actually again, club head speed 110.4. We can see compared to the M4 at the top, it is 2.4, 2.5 miles an hour, pretty much 2.5 miles an hour faster. That's significant, that's a big gain. And then the ball speed was up to 163.4. So certainly Callaway's claims you're going to get more ball speed with the Rogue. We can say that that is true. Launch was perhaps a little bit on the low side. I like to see my driver come out fairly low in fairness. I tend to find if I start launching the ball, what probably is around 13, 14, I just find that I completely lose control of it. I'd rather see the ball come out a little bit lower, get that little bit of roll the other end. That's just a personal preference though to myself. But very impressed again, the spin rate's low, 2660. Very impressed actually that all the spin rates have managed to stay relatively low during the session, which is great. But the smash again is down, 1.48. Be interested to maybe do a little bit of research into that and figure out, well, why is the smash not as high as what it is with the Taylormade? Could perhaps be the shaft option, could be a number of things, but I think that's going to have to be looked at. So the winner then, the M4. So this is what I was saying earlier is going to be the direct replacement almost for my M2. Very, very impressed actually with the performance it led off. So it's still the same degree head, out to 291 carry and then 298 total. So I've gained technically 9 yards carry over my M2. And then I've gained 7 yards overall over my M2. As you can see, the club head speed's 0.4 of a mile an hour difference. So that's the difference between one swing and another. You know, no difference at all. But ball speed's up 2.8 miles an hour. Look at the smash factor, 1.51. Outrageous numbers. And then launch coming in at 12.2 degrees. So slightly higher launch. You can see the footage ends up and the flight time is massively up to 7.3. So let's have a quick look at dispersion then. I think dispersion again is going to really then start to tell a complete story. So we can see there's certainly a little bit of a mix. See everything's sort of within 20 yards either side, so relatively accurate. But we can see the smallest circle then coming in is my M2. So that's what's coming in the yellow. So very, very impressed actually with how well that still managed to remain nice and stable. You can see 3 drives all around that same sort of area. So exactly what I'm sort of seeing on the golf course at the moment. Then we can see that a little bit larger are coming in, I think it's in the red or that in the green, so the M3 440, or then we've got that in the green, which is the M3 460, so relatively straight. The Callaway is a little bit wider dispersion, you see slightly further left to right, however the ball is going further the other end, so that's kind of expected. And then the M4 then coming in, the big pink one there. So certainly having looked through, is that going to scare me having that increase in dispersion? Not massively. I feel that, you know, I'm not always the strongest driver player, so perhaps for me that might be the difference between one swing and another. You know, 2 of those drives there on the right hand side, or between the middle and the right, are actually very much in the same ballpark as what they were in the M2. There's just then the one I've hit ever so slightly left, which is a shot that I'm battling at the moment anyway. So I'm not too concerned really with the increased dispersion that we've got out of the shots we've hit there. But do you know what, overall, I think it's really impressive actually to see now that products are improving as quickly as what they are from year to year. You know, to see that extra ball speed come out of 1 year's sort of development is crazy. So certainly now got me thinking, well actually if I can gain another 9 yards as such, is it worth me doing? Is it worth me buying a new club? Considering I've not had my M2 that long, I'm starting to think that yes it is. As I said, it would be really interesting actually to hear what your thoughts are on this. If you have any sort of opinions on this or anything that you see, please feel free to post it down in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting the feedback on the videos, even though it is about 2 comments at the moment. But I love getting your feedback on, you know, what you think, what you hit, what do you enjoy? Is there any other drivers I've missed that should be in this video? I know quite a few of you will say Cobra F8. That'll be coming up in another video soon. So please do post any questions, comments, anything like that. Post them down below, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from you guys. I'd just like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I know it's a little bit of a long one, a lot of me kind of talking through obviously the data on the screen there, but I think it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting to see the development from year to year and how manufacturers are taking the club further. So certainly we'll be doing a review on Twist Face. I know I've kind of bypassed it a little bit in this video. I wanted to test what if you hit out the middle, what then goes the furthest. So I tried my best to hit drives out the middle and get some really good data so that we can compare it there at the end. And I'm amazed, in fairness, as I sort of said earlier, with the M4 coming that high above the M2. But say if you guys do have any comments about the video, please do post them in below, or contact me directly, or message me on my Instagram. It's Joe Lovery. Make sure you check out our AT Golf Coaching website. That link is in the description below. Same with the Facebook page as well. If you could give those a like, that'd be really, really appreciated. As I say, keep trying to expand my channel this year, trying to make it bigger and better. I think about 400 and something subscribers at the moment. Let's see if we can boost that number up a little bit. I'll keep trying to bring you guys the best content possible. Thanks so much for watching and see you soon.